Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where last episode we got this guy set up to go up to the station. Now it's not fully set up. We did not strut this together down here, and that does need to happen. So we'll get that in, and this is not in the symmetry mode. That's exciting. Can you go away, please? Thanks. And now we don't need center of thrust either. Okay, so we're going to get this strutted together in symmetry mode. There we go. And we're also, of course, going to need some steering in atmosphere. So we're going to use our center of mass and aerodynamic overlay, and we will get that set up with probably just the tail fins that we've been using. So that's fine. It's not broken, so there's no need to fix it. We are going to grab... Where is it? Not the aeroplane tail fin. That is absurdly overkill. Here it is. Fantastic. We're going to use 4 of those, and we're going to mount those right about here. Okay. So looking at the rest of this, this should, in theory, be sufficient. We hope. We could put fuel in this fuel tank if we wanted to. And then this would be burned out by this. It's an option. Bring in like half of the fuel here. It would be like 1440, actually. So this would be half full. I think that that's overall not a great concept. We can always refuel this if we need to. I'm hoping that we won't need to. So let's go ahead and launch this guy. And we are going to dock this thing up, and this will allow us to make the station operational. It is now fully armed, if you will, and we will make it operational. And then we could maybe call it a battle station, but I'm not sure that it is that at all. But it is fully armed, for some definitions of armed. It has all of the arms that we are planning to put on right now. We could, in theory, make vertical arms as well and go around vertically and horizontally, but I think that that's overkill. So for right now, we are just going to launch this guy and hope that we've got enough gas to get this thing there. I think we do. I think. So up we go. I'm pretty sure we do. We're going to head on over. We want to have this be quite equatorial. One thing we do not want is to be in a weird inclination like we were before. So let's try to bring that on down a bit, and then we can set prograde. Okay, just adjusting our roll a little bit. And we're going to need to turn our heading down slightly. Okay, let's see how that goes. Where does that settle at? 91, 92, 93. That's a bit off. It's wanting to go a bit northward here. And actually southward. And I don't want it to go southward. Okay. Our SRBs are going to be detaching here in a little while. About 10 seconds. And we're punching up through the atmosphere nicely. SRB is going to be off in about 5. 2, 1, 0. Okay. SRBs detach. And at this point, we need to be basically purely at the horizon. Because we can see we've got plenty of vertical speed. We need to get some horizontal here. Cool. We're going to keep burning at the horizon until our apoapsis is at, I don't know, like 250, maybe? Or until we burn this out, whichever comes first. I'm just looking at our overall speed here. We can ditch the fairing at this point, and we definitely will. That will save us a good amount of weight. Okay, looks like this stage is going to burn out. That's fine. I just want as much horizontal speed as we can right now. Okay, that actually made it to 250. So that's a little surprising to me, but we would want to circularize at about 250 for our... no, I don't want to do that. We want to circularize at about 250 for our interception, just to make that a little easier. And we'll circularize like that. Should be good. Good enough anyway. We'll go ahead and park at the maneuver node. Of course, we barely have a reaction wheel in this thing. That is something I should have thought of, in retrospect. We'll extend our solar panels. That is definitely something that needs to happen. But our steering is not good. That is very clear. Luckily, we've got a lot of time before this burn, so we're going to physics warp. And we will get positioned for that burn in a moment. This seems doable. It does. We've got power on it, so it all should be good, in theory. And some of these parts are going to be moved around. Some of them can't be moved around, but some of them will be regardless. Okay. We're almost in position here. And let's go ahead and burn. By burn, I mean time warp. That's definitely the right word. Okay. So we're about a minute away from our burn here. Make that about 10 seconds out. And we burn now. And there's that tank gone. That will make us much more steerable. And off we go for our circularization. Relatively little delta V to make this happen, and that's great. And honestly, we're going to have a lot of spare fuel. I'm not concerned about that in the slightest. Cool. So we're in orbit now. It's a bit of an elliptical orbit. We're not circularized, but we'll get there eventually. Okay. We'll call that good enough. That'll do. So at this point, we want to set the mining ring station as our target. And we can see we're off by about 0.6 degrees. So we're going to, at the ascending node, we are going to burn anti-normal here. About 21.6 meters per second. Cool. We'll position for that burn. I don't know why it keeps zooming us out so far, but okay. We should definitely extend our antenna before I forget to do that. Not that I think we need it, but it's still useful to have around. And we've got these struts here specifically to strut it to the... Okay. So we are basically positioned here, and let's warp to that. That'll be in about 10 minutes. 4 minutes. 2 minutes. 1 minute. We'll warp a little bit closer. 30 seconds. 10 seconds. And we'll begin this burn. I'm going to turn down this gimbaling as well, down to like 9%. There we go. That should do the trick. We can turn that back up now. Okay, so yep, 0.0. And now we can look for an intercept. What if we were to burn around the periapsis? Okay, that's awkward timing. Might need to wait in orbit, but that's no big deal. Yeah, we'll need to wait in orbit. Hello? Button? Button. There we go. Okay, so with the orbit, we are able to come in over this way. Cool. So we can fine-tune that approach a bit. That is an intersect of 15.6 kilometers and only 102.1 meters per second apart. We're going to have a lot of fuel in this, so that's fine. We can work on fine-tuning that a little bit, bring this down to about 7.7 kilometers. Okay. I saw like 6.5, I think there, like 6.8. 6.5, 6.4. I mean, this is close enough. Just checking. Yeah, we don't need to do anything like that. Okay. Nothing here, and 6.5 kilometers looks good to me. So we will go ahead and do that. We'll warp as we turn on over. And as we burn fuel out of this, the reaction wheel will get more efficient at it too. We're going to move the fuel probably into here. We're going to have a second poodle that we're not entirely sure what we'll do with yet. We'll probably want to mount it somewhere. Okay. We are in position now, and we will go ahead and warp. And there we go. Time warp complete. 1 minute until our burn. It's actually a decent time for a moon burn, but we're not going to the moon. Okay, 10 more seconds. And we're going to burn right about now. This is a 15-second burn. Shouldn't be too bad. Five more seconds left in the burn now. Okay, I just want to try to get this a little bit more precise here. It doesn't have to be mega precise, of course. This is probably close enough. What do we got? 6.6 kilometers. Yeah, that looks good to me. So we're going to need to go into target retrograde here. And we're going to need to warp around to about here-ish. So we'll warp to there. And then we'll need to flip to target retrograde. And where is the station right now? Oh, there it is. About 18 kilometers out. So we're going to flip to target retrograde in physics warp. And we know that our closest approach is somewhere around 7-ish kilometers. So that's fine. Okay. Target retrograde achieved. And at this point, right, 7 kilometers-ish? 6.4 is what it says there. That's often not quite correct. Okay. We'll call this good enough, I think, and we will kill our relative velocity. There we go. 50 meters per second to go. Okay. We'll need to be a little bit more cautious here. 5 meters per second to go. Good enough. Okay, we'll turn towards target. And then we will burn towards target just to get a bit closer here. This is, of course, not going to be our final approach. We just need to do a get closer burn. And we'll just position there and head on in. We're going to head in at something along the lines of 5 to 10 meters per second. Yeah, I think 10 will do. There we go. And around to target retrograde. We'll physics warp as we turn. And we can see that that's apparently 4.5 kilometers out. I don't know that that's actually the case, but we'll see. I know that we weren't exactly bang on with the relative speed. What is our relative speed when we get there? 10.1 meters per second? Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and warp a bit. Sadly, we're drifting here. I feel like we're better off in physics warp right now so that we can actually hold on target retrograde. That said, we could just warp ahead to, like, here, about 2 minutes in the future. Which should, in theory, be fine. Okay, we're definitely going to need to do another get closer burn. There's no doubt about that. I was hoping that this would be a little closer than it ended up being. So we're going to, and I should have checked that to be clear, we're going to hop on over to here and kill our relative velocity. Okay, just going to hold right about here and try to get that as close as possible. That's about as close as we're going to get. And we can point towards target. And once we are there, we'll be able to keep an eye on this intersect point. That'll be the goal. We definitely need to get a little bit closer here. That's for sure. Okay. So we're going to bring this down to, I don't know, like 0.1 kilometers would be funny. We'll see how good we get. That's 2 kilometers apart. Okay, we're losing efficiency here. So we're going to have to warp to about the apoapsis. And, of course, flip around to retrograde. We can now see it. We're about a kilometer out. We need to get flipped here. We're trying. Okay. Physics warping at this point is a little bit dangerous. I'm just going to burn a little bit to turn to help out our turn here. And our relative target speed is going down. So that's good. We're getting a little further away right now. We're now a kilometer away, but that's okay. We'll turn up our burn a little bit. Okay, we need to turn it back down. Cool. That's good enough. And we will burn towards target. This is definitely a lot laggier than I'm used to it being right now. I think it's because of the station over here being loaded in at the same time. That's some exciting stuff. I'm wondering if VSync is on? It shouldn't be. We might not be able to see that from here. I don't know. We'll just head on over. And I think that physics warping from here on out is a bad idea, TM. So we're going to head on in as soon as we arrive here. And that'll be just fine. But once we have this thing docked up and ready to go, we can distribute these panels, and then we're ready to bring in our first asteroid. So that is amazing. We're going to head in as soon as we can here. We're still not quite in position. I should have tossed in a stronger reaction wheel on this. That's definitely something I should have done in retrospect. We're going to head in at some speed here. What speed is the question? This is 0.5 kilometers, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. That should do. We're going to flip over to target retrograde. Boy, is this slow. It might go faster if we were to transfer some of the fuel up here just to change our center of gravity. Kind of like that. I mean, we need to bring our oxidizer back, but there we go. Okay. So center of gravity has been changed a bit. We've only got 246 meters per second left in this tank, but we can always move it back if we need to. Okay. So we're currently moving at 4.9 meters per second relative to the station. A better reaction wheel definitely wouldn't have gone awry. Let's put it that way. We're only about 700 meters out, and we've definitely got this under control, I feel like. We're going to only be about 100 meters out when we get there. So this seems reasonably fine. We're going to be positioned here. I would normally physics warp, but I'm concerned about breaking things on the station at this point. So I would rather not physics warp, and we're going to quick save just in case there's a Kraken. If I mess up, I'm not going to revert the quick save, but if there's a Kraken, we will. So far, the Kraken has been reasonably well behaved. Hopefully it remains so. Okay, we're about 500 meters out right now. Cool. And I'm not sure which direction we're coming in at here. I think, okay, we're coming in, this is the ring here in front. So we need to bypass the station a bit and get behind it and come in from this direction is the way that I want to come in. So we're going to have to do that. But for now, we can continue to get closer here. We're about 400 meters out. I'm going to warp ahead about 40 seconds here. And this is probably going to change position here. No. No, it isn't. We're coming in at a good trajectory here right now, actually. I like it. We're about 300 meters out right now. I do want to rotate this guy so that we are, like, matching planes in terms of the solar panels. I mean, we can always change those, but something kind of like that. Okay. So we're about 200 meters out currently, and this is now saying 0.2 kilometers, but that's okay. I want to continue to pass by this a little bit to have a better run at this docking port right here. So that will be the overall concept there. Okay. We're going to want to kill our relative speed shortly here. We're starting to get further away. Let's go ahead and start turning that relative speed off. Okay. Got it. Set this docking port as the target, and we are going to control from this docking port. We're going to turn to the target. Yeah, the sun's going down right now, but we're going to turn to the target. It's definitely got laggy once this loaded. I'm hoping that is... What is happening here? Things are like fully extended and swinging freely. What are you doing? What is happening here? I'm so confused. What are these parts doing? SAS is on, and that might be the issue? Maybe? But you're not at your target angles. Whoa! Okay. That's a lot. This is not doing what I'm telling it to do. This is not the plan. Can confirm, this is not the plan. This is what I was talking about with the Kraken. The good news is, it's not self-intersecting. Mostly. That's the good news here. The bad news is this is not sitting where it's supposed to. Like, none of these are actually sitting at their target positions. So that's exciting. And that's not its traverse rate either. This is not what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, let's turn SAS on for right now and try to get this thing under control a bit. Okay. That's going to be interesting. What I'm going to do, I think, is, well... Man, that's awkward. Okay. Let's go on in at about 1 meter per second. I can see that we're going to miss a bit here. But let's see what this does. That is definitely wild that it is essentially ignoring where all of the parts are supposed to be. We can maybe get those fixed though. There's no self-intersection, so it doesn't seem to be damaging the parts. And that's good. But it's still just like flailing wildly. And that needs to get under control. So actually, we need to flip this around. We cannot, under any circumstances, physics warp right now. Okay, so let's flip this guy around. And we're going to need to kill the relative velocity and just park it here. Because we need to get this under control. I now understand why it's lagging so much, though. Because it's not actually doing what it's supposed to, which is just sit there. Okay. I have no idea why it decided to do this. Whatever it is it's doing. But I'm not okay with it. Now we could thrust limit this down, and that might not be a bad idea. Thrust limit this down to like 5% for right now. Just so that we can control this a little bit better. So let's get into position here. It looks like this might be kind of straightening out, but that might be something that I have to do like between episodes. Okay. So we're going to get into position here. We're only about 80 meters out. Man, that just looks so bad. I have no idea why it's doing that. I guess this is the Kraken coming back at us for saying that it's been well behaved thus far. Well, let's kill our relative velocity here. Okay. Mining ring station just disengaged its SAS, and I think that's due to power. Yeah, that's due to power. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. Just to be safe, because this is not what it's supposed to be doing. Just to be safe, I'm going to go into here and I'm going to turn on unbreakable joints and no crash damage. Just to make sure that this doesn't actually happen. And then I'm going to try to put this all back where it's supposed to go. I'm going to put a cut in here, and next episode, this will all be hopefully fixed and put where it's supposed to be. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Spartan News, Rose Valentine, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. And before we dock up, I will make sure to turn off the unbreakable joints and no crash damage. I'm just really suspicious that the Kraken might have something to say about what we're doing here. This is just to prevent the Kraken. But as I just said, I will see you all next time.